Good afternoon, everyone. This is meteorologist Ted Keller. The much advertised several day severe weather threat is in gear. Some significant changes have occurred for today, even when compared to the forecasts for this morning. We have been under a slight risk of severe weather for a couple of days now across all of the Ozarks, southwest Missouri, northwest Arkansas. But now, as of the latest forecast from the Storm Prediction Center, at least half the Ozarks from Springfield westward is now in the next level up, which is called enhanced. And that's what you're seeing on the screen right here. Let me go over that real quickly here. So Springfield is roughly on the corner of that abbreviation for the word enhanced, right about where that X is. And so everything from, well, Iowa all the way down to Texas is under that enhanced risk area. So that's a level 3 out of 5. The next one up would be moderate. The next one up would be high. So we're, solidly in a severe weather zone here. And probably more significantly than more than anything else is that the tornado threat is increased. And we were in sort of this broad, sort of 5% area this morning. That's this brown color right through here. But now with the update, which they do in the late morning this time of year, about an hour ago, not only did they increase the percentage, so this 10% area is what's shaded in yellow here, but they have also put a hatched area in here. And hatched just basically means there's a slightly better chance of a tornado being stronger on the upper level of the damage scale, the EF scale. So there are 6 levels to that. The upper 3, there's a little bit more of a chance of one of those occurring in that hatched area. 10%. What do the percentages mean? I'm going to be doing a video on that here probably after this weekend is over, maybe tomorrow morning. But the percentages on the Storm Prediction Center forecast, which is what you're looking at here, just means the percent chance of whatever event you're talking about happening within a 25-mile circle of any point. So in other words, wherever you live, draw a circle 25 miles around you. That's the percentage chance of that event occurring. So in Springfield, there's a 10% chance of a tornado occurring within 25 miles of Springfield, which basically is, just to rough approximate that, a little bigger than Greene County, essentially, just so you know what that is. So that's a change. So be aware of that. Now, the morning activity that we had here, the showers and thunderstorms, these weren't part of this. They've moved on. And while the leading edge of that might have a couple of severe storms in it, that'll be in north central Arkansas, southern Missouri. This threat is for later this afternoon, starting, let's say, from 4 or 5 into the evening hours is what we're really looking at here. And I will go ahead and show you what nothing has changed on the weekend. This is the forecast for Saturday. We're still in a slight to enhanced area, mostly slight. That would be, I think, for late. Thunderstorms that develop, and that looks like a pretty significant event through Kansas and Oklahoma, would basically move into our area in a pretty organized fashion by that evening or into the overnight hours on Saturday. So that's still looking about the same. And even on Sunday, we're still in this kind of broad area of slight risk here, and that's going to be a little more ill-defined. Like I've said before, sometimes the thunderstorm development the night before really has an effect on what will happen the next day, and that certainly has been true today, where I think the thunderstorms that moved through not only spiked the low-level humidity, but they didn't affect the overall pattern at all. They've moved on. They may even have left a boundary behind. I haven't really actually had time to look at that yet. And the reason I'm looking at that more intensely today is I think I will be doing a small storm chase into probably southeast Kansas. A combination of better chasing area for terrain and also just looking at the parameters in general. But that's another discussion. So let's just get to the models and show you what's going on here today. So this is pivotal weather, and I'll start with this just because it's the one that's up. Now sometimes this can be a real cheat. This is something called the significant weather or significant tornado parameter, and I show it because, again, it's the last thing I looked at basically. But this is valid. This is a computer model that looks into the future. This would be valid at about 6 p.m. So you notice these areas of darker orange here and maybe some blotchier areas here. These are areas where that significant tornado parameter is enhanced. Significant tornado parameter combines unstable air with low-level wind shear, basically, and gives you a combined, hey, this is where these two favored things cross over the best, is one way to look at it. So that's actually pretty interesting for southeast Kansas in particular. But more broadly, let's just go back and take a look at some more basic things, like we can just look at the instability for that time. This is, again, 6 p.m., and you'll notice, I can move it up a little bit. And by the way, for sake of reference, Springfield is right here. Okay, so this is all activity that's occurring along the dry line where the instability has been maximized All right, so this looks favorable for the area I want to chase in. That's not always what the weather will do, but I would love it if I could go right here to do that chasing. And again, any storms that form would move off in this direction. So that's one thing to look at. If you're trying to find the dry line, that sharp edge right there pretty much defines it. And the dry line is an area, you can think of it as a front where air comes together and rising motion is forced up. It's not moving significantly, but it is, I think, pretty dynamic. So I think it does have the ability to fire thunderstorms, which if they did go up, would have a strong possibility for all of the three modes of severe weather. What are those? Well, whatever defines severe weather: hail, strong winds, and tornadoes. Any of those three. So when I say, or the weather forecast office says, modes of severe weather, what they're talking about is all three of those are possible. Another good video idea that I'll be working on soon. Anyway, so that's the update. So just kind of put it in a nutshell for Springfield, not much to worry about, I don't think, until after 6 p.m. If thunderstorms form a little bit closer in southwest Missouri, it doesn't look real probable, but some of the computer models are showing that. And then the threat would move up to, that hour, 6 to 7. Most likely, storms will form farther west, and move into the area gradually during the evening hours. And so that's what we'll be watching. I'm sure a tornado watch will be issued at some point later this afternoon, covering all of southwest Missouri and northwest Arkansas. That's it for this update. I will likely be on the road after 3 o'clock and be watching it and try to bring you updates from the road with anything that may be changing forecast-wise for southwest Missouri, northwest Arkansas, and anything that I might be actually seeing out in the field. So just keep an eye to the sky, watch for updates, and we'll talk to you soon.